In modern times, when cities are filled with advanced technology, fire alarms, and emergency systems, how can a single fire still take lives within minutes? According to global fire safety studies, most deadly fires don't happen because people don't notice the fire, but because they cannot escape in time. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more real-world stories that explain history, disasters, and the lessons humanity keeps learning the hard way. Today's video focuses on a tragic and controversial incident, the Xinjiang 61st Regiment Farm Fire, a disaster that raised serious questions about safety, restrictions, and human rights, and sparked global attention. The 61st Regiment Farm is located in the Xinjiang region of China and is part of a state-run agricultural and residential system. These regiment farms function as both workplaces and living areas, where thousands of people reside in apartment-style housing. Like many modern residential complexes worldwide, these buildings were meant to provide affordable housing for workers and families. However, what happened here revealed how infrastructure, policy, and emergency response can combine to create deadly outcomes. On the night of the incident, a fire broke out in a residential building at the Xinjiang 61st Regiment Farm. Reports indicate that the fire spread quickly, fueled by flammable materials and poor ventilation. Residents attempted to escape, but many found themselves trapped. Witnesses later described locked or blocked exits, delayed emergency response, firefighting vehicles struggling to access the building. Within minutes, what started as a localized fire turned into a deadly catastrophe. This is where the tragedy becomes especially alarming. Multiple international fire safety studies show that escape time is the single most important factor in survival during a building fire. In this case, residents faced several obstacles. First, physical barriers. Some exits were reportedly blocked or restricted, reducing escape routes. Second, building design. High-rise residential buildings require clear stairwells and emergency access. Any delay can cost lives. Third, emergency response time. Firefighters reportedly took longer than expected to control the flames, allowing the fire to spread upward. These factors together created a situation where residents were aware of the fire, but powerless to escape. The fire resulted in multiple deaths and injuries, including families and children. Each number represents a real person, someone who expected to sleep safely in their home that night. What made the tragedy resonate globally was not just the loss of life, but the preventable nature of the disaster. Across the world, from apartment fires in major cities to residential blazes in developing regions, the pattern is clear. When safety systems fail, ordinary people pay the price. News of the Xinjiang 61st Regiment Farm Fire spread rapidly beyond regional borders. Social media platforms filled with videos, images, and emotional responses. People across different countries recognized a shared fear. What if this happened where I live? The fire became a symbol, not just of a single disaster, but of broader concerns about residential safety standards, emergency preparedness, restrictions that may delay rescue efforts. In many places around the world, public tragedies have historically forced governments to review policies. This incident was no different. You might wonder, why should someone thousands of miles away care about this fire? Because urban living is global. Whether you live in New York, London, Tokyo, or a small town, millions of people worldwide live in apartment buildings with shared exits, elevators, and emergency systems. Fires like this remind us that locked exits can be deadly. Delayed emergency access can cost lives. Safety regulations must be enforced, not just written. The Xinjiang 61st Regiment Farm Fire is part of a larger global conversation about how modern societies protect, or fail to protect, their people. History offers painful comparisons. From high-rise fires in Europe to factory fires in South Asia, investigations repeatedly reveal the same issues: poor building maintenance, ignored safety warnings, cost-cutting at the expense of human lives. Studies by international fire safety organizations emphasize that regular inspections, open escape routes, and rapid emergency access dramatically reduce casualties. The tragedy in Xinjiang fits into this pattern and reinforces lessons the world already knows, but often ignores. One of the most important questions after any disaster is, could this have been prevented? While investigations vary, experts agree that residential fires rarely become deadly without systemic failures, whether in planning, management, or response. True safety comes not from blaming victims, but from transparent investigations, accountability at all levels, real changes in safety policy. Without these steps, tragedies repeat themselves. The Xinjiang 61st Regiment farm fire was not just an accident, it was a warning. A warning about what happens when safety becomes secondary, when escape routes are compromised, and when emergency systems are not prepared for the worst. Every fire teaches a lesson. The question is whether the world listens. The fire at the Xinjiang 61st Regiment farm reminds us that safety is not a luxury. It is a necessity. Remembering these stories is how we prevent them from happening again.